Hi everybody, Al Ruechel here, the PCS Journal, where we have good things to talk about with School Superintendent Dr. Michael Grego that you need to know about. Dr. Grego, good to see you.
Great to see you too, Al.
Let's start with something that we didn't mention last time because they weren't in, graduation rates.
Right. Yeah, our graduation rates came out a little bit late this year, but it was in January and we were very pleased with our growth. We have the highest graduation rate in the history of Pinellas County at 82.9, but even more importantly, we saw tremendous growth in some of our subgroups. All of our students, as far as the district, increased 2.8%, but our English language learners, 13.7%, our ESE, our students with exceptionalities, students with disabilities, 8.7%, our Hispanic students, 6%. In fact, I'm going to suggest the Hispanic graduation rate is at 81%, which is tremendous. So we've really closed that gap. And our African American graduation rate closed by 3.8%. So you can tell if the overall is 2.8 and all of those other groups closed at a more rapid rate, we are closing that gap. In addition, we always take a look at how our district is doing against the 7 or 8 largest school districts in the state of Florida. And over the last 5 years, we have increased our graduation rate by 11%, which is leading the state. The next highest is Orange at 8.8%. So you can see that our momentum and our graduation rate, people are building a culture that everyone's going to graduate in Pinellas County.
Now, I've been around long enough that we used to do some stories talking about the graduation rate and the way they figured it out. Is everybody kind of happy now with the way that they actually determine what the graduation rate is? Because sometimes you say to yourself, you're telling me that 18% of the kids don't graduate, and then you start asking yourself as a parent, well, do I know that many kids that didn't graduate?
Well, it is a federal graduation rate, and you're right. A lot of people don't fully understand what a federal graduation rate is. And I'll give you an example. Some of our students with disabilities that will not sit for the Florida Standards Assessment, they count against our graduation rate. Now, there's no way, especially in some of our low prevalence cognitively disabled students, they're not going to sit for that. But the federal graduation rate counts all students. In addition, this is a count that exactly 4 years from 9th to 12th grade, not 4 years in a semester, not 4 years in a year, but 4 years you have to satisfy all of the graduation requirements. So some of our students take another semester, maybe another semester and a half. They will count against that. So, you know, when we take a look at those variables, we are closing in on just about a 5 or 6%. And I've shared, and I'm going to be sending out this data snapshot to the general public. Kind of laying out all of our high schools. Boca Ciega, 91%. You know, Dunedin High School is knocking at the door of 90%. So many of our high schools are really, and our top high school in the state is in the county, is Palm Harbor University at 97.6.
Holy smokes.
So when you start to get to that level, you're talking about a handful of students that may need another semester or another part of a year. So we're moving. Obviously, the graduation rate is one of those statistics that is a 4-year cohort rate, so you have to kind of, but I see tremendous movement in our district, and you're never satisfied till it's 100, but when you're looking at a federal rate, that's where we're at.
But the bottom line is things are getting better. But again, it's good to know the background behind that graduation rate, because sometimes it has people scratching their heads. Something else we want to talk about. I've been doing this program a long time, so I remember way back in 1990 when I was talking about the starting times. And Hillsborough County has decided to adapt a later starting time based on a ton of studies that were done. Most of those were adapted up in New York State to begin with. So you're thinking about changing the starting times for high school. Now, what number are we looking at?
We're looking to try, it's always been my goal as superintendent to try to move that 7:05 start to later. I think it's too early. But so we have to study, we have to look at it, and we're taking a look at about a 7:30 start time, which is about 25 minutes later. You know, other districts have tried other things throughout the country. We've taken a look at Seattle, Boston, tried to flip high schools and elementary schools. That didn't work. The biggest concern about flipping, which some people say, well, it's really easy, is that our average run in elementary schools in the morning is about a 45 to 50 minute run. That means from the first kid to the school. Today, Al, we serve breakfast, whether we like it or not. You know, we're so health conscious, and we want our students to have a good breakfast. For many of our students, they depend upon that breakfast. So you're needing to get students at least to the school 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes earlier. That puts kids out, elementary school kids out at the bus stop at about 6:40 or earlier, and that's dark. And these are some of our most vulnerable students. We've surveyed all of our, a lot of our high school. I just met with the Students' Rights and Responsibilities and asked them their opinion. They really like a slightly later start time. Everyone does.
Right.
And we're going to continue, though. The good news is we're going to continue to analyze the runs that we're making, especially amongst our choice programs. You know, we talk about that Pinellas County is recognized nationally for its choice programs. There's a reason. It's
Sure.
because we provide transportation to most, if not all, of our choice programs. So we have, just this year, over 12,000 parents and students opt in for the district application program. They're depending on transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you do that, it complicates the transportation routes. So we're going to take the next year, year and a half, and really examine what we could do regionally, so maybe even move that start time a little bit later. But we have to get ready for next year. This, I believe, is a really aggressive move for the 25 minutes. Let's see how it works. Let's continue the process. Most of the districts that have worked and studied with start times have taken 2+ years, and we started this work last fall. So I don't want to move too fast to damage. It's a system that's working, but I do believe that the 25 minutes will certainly help our students. Let's assess and let's see how we can gain greater efficiencies.
Yeah, and it's not like you can have as many school buses as you need them and just run them on one route. You have to use multiple routes, and boy, that does get. So that's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. Hillsborough County has adapted it. They adapted it this year already?
For next year.
For next year, too.
They
Okay,
haven't started it.
Well, that's going to be interesting. All right, let's talk a little bit about some of the building projects you've got going on right now. The Pinellas Technical High School at Seminole.
It's our first technical high school, and
Yeah.
we're excited about that. We had a little groundbreaking. You know, Al, we're doing groundbreakings for these major projects, and not because we're trying to tout what we're doing, but we want to use it as an advertisement to the community, to the Seminole community. We had groundbreakings at Lakewood. We're having a groundbreaking at Tarpon Springs. We had groundbreaking at Pinellas Park Middle School. So we have a very aggressive capital campaign that's going on in our district. And what we're trying to do is to get all the municipalities out to recognize the investment we're making in their school, and schools should be the hub of that community. So the groundbreaking at Seminole, or Pinellas Technical High School at Seminole, is about $13.2 million investment.
And this is an extra building on the Seminole campus, basically?
Well, the difference here is that the academies of Seminole now, students leave their home high school and they go to this school for a few hours and they go back to this school.
Okay.
Now, this is going to be a standalone school. Students are going to go there all day. They're going to have their English, math, science, social studies on their campus. It's going to be a standalone school, a smaller school. It really fits the niche of a lot of students. Parents are very excited about it. We're having open houses, about 600 students, so it's not a large high school. But some of the major trades, and we have students going to college, will be going out to the workforce, building trades and construction, commercial and digital arts, electricity, nursing, vet assistant, veterinarian assistant, and computer programming, gaming, and some of those skills. So students are going to be able to go there, get industry certifications, be prepared for post-secondary education, and it's going to be a great place. It's a smaller environment.
Lots of jobs are available in all those areas that you mentioned. Let's talk about something else. Seminole High School had an honor. It was given to it by the International Center for Leadership and Education, the Model School for 2018. Wow. That's a pretty big deal.
It is a big deal. I want to really congratulate Dr. Thomas Britton, the principal of that school, and as a result, they'll be attending the Model Schools Conference in Orlando in June, and we'll be presenting that. And we have actually 2 schools that have been recognized in our district, which is quite an honor, and these honors just kind of go, we get used to them, and we shouldn't, but it's Clearwater High School, and now Seminole High School joins him. So we're proud to represent the model schools, and what this does is that a lot of schools and a lot of districts throughout the year come and visit these schools to learn about the components of Seminole and Clearwater.
Well, that's great, and congratulations to them. This one, the Transformation Zone, ROC. Tell me about that. I'm intrigued. I get these notes, folks, so I get to pick and choose what we're going to talk about. So tell me about that.
Well, our transformation, you know, we term this TZ zones, but these are some of our more struggling schools, high poverty schools that we're working to get out of district and state turnaround, which we are very successfully doing. But
Yeah.
we had a transformation zone, TZ Rocks. For every student in the month of December, 95 plus days attendance, no referrals, really did their work over their winter break in terms of their online ST math work and reading work, have good grades, and did well on their MAP assessments along the way, really applying themselves. We took them out of class. We bought them these rocks that they painted in whatever design they wanted to paint, played some music, goodie bags, and then they went out. They could do whatever they wanted. Some of them hid the rocks on their campus for their classmates to find. Some of them took them home. Some of them brought them to their class. But it was really a tribute to saying thank you, and you're doing a great job in December. Let's carry that on in January. Let's carry it in February. Let's make it a habit. And so that was. I went to each of those schools that had that. I celebrated with the students this past week. And what a neat idea.
Yeah,
take a rock. And kids were really excited about
those
it.
kids are working hard. They really are to bring up those grades, which I'm really happy for them. This is kind of neat. Maria Edmonds Hispanic Achievement Awards. This is a first for Pinellas County. Tell me about it.
It's a first. I knew Maria Edmonds. She served with me on the Juvenile Welfare Board, just a delightful person, tremendous community leader. And as I was looking at when she passed, and I was looking for a way to honor her, at the same time, we didn't have anything as an outreach to celebrate our Hispanic students.
Sure.
We have 2 events celebrating our African American student achievement. And so I thought of this. I contacted the family, and we are going to celebrate this Saturday at the Ruechel Hall, 450 plus students with their families. And in fact, Veronica will be emceeing it from
cool.
Spectrum. It's going to be just a wonderful occasion. It's the first time ever that we've done this. We're going to pack the house at Ruechel Hall, and we're going to celebrate the achievement. As I mentioned earlier, with our Hispanic graduation rate being one of the highest, I mean, we've accelerated that rate faster than any district in the state. The AP enrollment from our Hispanic population is growing faster. Their pass rates, their scholarships, things are moving in the right direction. And that is our fastest growing population in Pinellas County is our Hispanic colleagues and friends. So we want to come out and celebrate the culture and celebrate the achievement and let the families know that in Pinellas County we care about their students and we care about their success.
And lastly, I'm just going to read this quick because we're almost out of time. 81 district school campuses and administrative buildings have earned the Energy Star building certifications. No other organization in Florida has received that number of Energy Star certifications. What are you guys doing right? Turning out the lights before the kids leave?
Yes, I mean,
Practically.
something as simple and common sense as that.
Really? It is, sure.
We started this program about 3 years ago with Synergistics, and it's a behavior program. It's like you do with your own house, Al.
Right.
We can leave everything on, we can adjust the thermostats, but the key here is that it compares, we have to be in the top 25% of buildings throughout the nation.
Okay.
And it has to be comfortable still, so we can't sacrifice comfort. This is the largest, 81 schools. They came to our school board meeting last Tuesday and celebrated this. And let me add to that, this is a savings. Energy in this district is the 3rd single largest expenditure outside of human teachers and salaries and benefits. So it really is an expense, and we've been able to reduce our energy footprint in this county by about 18–19%.
All right. Hey, so many good things happening with the school district. That's all wonderful. Dr. Grego, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more right after this.